Why do so many of us completely fail to find our true calling, even when we are exhausting ourselves trying? The reality is, most people are trapped in one of three highly specific professional loops, and in all three, we trick ourselves into believing that if we push just a little bit harder, eventually we'll break free. The first loop is the obsessive hobby. You pour your heart and soul into something you love doing, but because it has zero monetization engine attached to it, it quietly drains your bank account. Then there's the standard 9-to-5. It pays the bills, but it slowly drains your soul because you don't actually care about the work. Or maybe you try to escape by building a side hustle, a project you are passionate about and want to sell, but because your skills aren't sharp enough yet, it flatlines. Working 80 hours a week inside any of these three loops will not lead to fulfillment. It only accelerates burnout. The issue isn't your work ethic. The blueprint of your career itself is broken. That feeling of being totally stuck is essentially a mathematical error. It happens when you settle for acquiring only 2 out of the 3 variables required to build a sustainable life. Illustration 19 from the Wealth and Joy series maps out a precise formula for wealth and satisfaction. To solve the equation, you need passion, what you love, you need skill, what you're highly capable of, and commercial value, what the market pays for. Until you identify and integrate whichever variable you are currently missing, you are mathematically locked out of finding your calling. This chart diagnoses the traps. Passion and skill without commercial value creates an uncompensated hobby. Skill and commercial value without passion is a soul-draining job. Passion and value without elite skills leaves you in a side hustle, unable to scale and competing for scraps. Modern work culture completely normalizes these two-circle compromises. We are told that having a stable job you tolerate, or a side hustle that barely breaks even, means you are doing just fine. But the actual target is the exact center of this diagram. This intersection is where genuine passion, highly developed skill, and clear market demand perfectly overlap. What makes this center convergence unique is its stability. When all three forces are aligned, you aren't sacrificing your income for joy or your mental health for a paycheck. That constant, chronic feeling of unfulfillment is just the biological symptom of operating in the compromised margins of your life, rather than aggressively fighting your way to the center. But there is a twist. Reaching that center point isn't a static destination where you just stop. Locking all three elements into place acts as an ignition switch for a highly dynamic engine. Look at the outer ring. First, you take raw interest and cultivate it into a sharp capability. Next, you bring that skill to the market, extracting actual commercial value. Finally, that value gives you the freedom to reinvest directly back into your original passion. Once this exact sequence connects, it creates a self-sustaining loop. Your career stops being a daily friction-filled struggle and transitions into an engine of automatic momentum. When you have this specific flywheel spinning, the mechanics of how you make a living change entirely. Wealth stops being a target you desperately chase down every month, and instead becomes a natural, unavoidable byproduct of the system you've built. This illustration promises exactly that result. Look at the text highlighted at the very bottom. It tells us that by starting this upward flywheel, you directly enter the flow of wealth. It is a literal blueprint for continuous financial momentum. Audit your own daily routine right now. Look closely at how you spend your time and identify exactly which of the three circles you are currently missing. Stop settling for a fraction of your potential. Align your three circles, ignite your own flywheel, and step directly into the flow of wealth today.